Hello, friends. It's Katie back with another episode of my vlog. And it's Sunday, which means, of course, it's time for the Cinema Club Sunday Roundup. Only 3 things to review this week. We watched 2 movies and 1 miniseries, which took up most of our viewing time for the week. So this might be a little bit shorter, but let's jump right in. We started the week with Crimson Peak from 2015, directed by Guillermo del Toro. I got this as a recommendation off of r/movies, one of my favorite subreddits. Some people were complaining about there not being enough good gothic horror out there. And this title came up as a recommendation over and over again in the thread for good gothic horror. So I said, I love that genre. I'll check that one out. So we watched that movie and we're well impressed. It's a stylish gothic romance story with ghosts. It's really stylized, of course, just like all of Del Toro's films are. There's a lot going on visually on screen. Everything is just designed to the nines, which of course I love as a visual artist. When I see a movie that's just, incredible sets, incredible costumes, every single little detail inside of the movie has just been so well thought out and designed, and it's just so stylish. I love anything like that. And of course, in the Gothic sort of motif, it's one of my favorites. Unfortunately, like a lot of Del Toro's films, there is a really heavy reliance on CGI imagery. And it kind of falls apart when you get a little up close with it. Without giving too much away about this film, I really, really liked the look of the ghosts from far away. But as soon as they got too kind of up close, I want to say in the camera, but of course they don't exist in the camera at all, which is part of the problem here. The illusion just falls apart and they look like computer animated things. When they're first shown from a little kind of like farther away, more, down a hallway, kind of dark and mysterious and spooky, they are extremely effective ghost designs. But when they get right up in the main protagonist's face and start kind of communicating with her and stuff, they really have this kind of slick CGI look to them that I feel like really, it disrupts your willing suspension of disbelief. The other thing is there's a lot that's not ghosts going on screen. Just a brief note on the plot. We have a baronet and his sister who have run out of money and are going around seeking investment for a clay mine, which is under their house. Through some manipulations, they get this young woman to marry the baronet and come out to their ancestral home. It's called Allerdale Hall, and it's just this crumbling mansion, and it's got like a giant hole in the roof, so there's snow in the middle of the front entryway when they first come in. There's entire parts of the mansion that have to be closed off, and you're not allowed to go in them because they're too dangerous. And it's just a very, very, very cool setting for this story. Unfortunately, again, with the overuse of CGI, Del Toro tries to kind of make the point about how open the mansion is to the outside world by constantly having snow floating around inside the mansion and also insects. There's a lot of insects flying around inside the mansion. And again, I feel like if he would just use a little bit of moderation with the CGI stuff, it would be amazing. But he does so much that it becomes overwhelming and distracting from my enjoyment of the rest of the film. Now, that said, the CGI stuff aside, this was a really great movie and I really enjoyed it. Great writing, really interesting story. I really liked the way the story unfolded. Good acting. I can't remember the names of most of the principal actors, but Charlie Hunnam, who is the lead from Sons of Anarchy, is in it as a doctor, and he was a little disconcerting at first. I was like, oh my God, am I going to be completely distracted by the fact that this guy is Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy, but he actually did the doctor role really well. So good for him for being able to act more than one part. And yeah, it's pretty great. Like I said, great story, really cool story development, if you will. And again, visually just a treat for the eyes, very stylish, very stylized. Really a great package if you can kind of like get past this kind of overuse of CGI problem. Or if you don't have a problem with the overuse of CGI, it won't be a problem for you. Now, we spent 4 days in the middle of our week making our way through The Queen's Gambit. This is, of course, the 2020 Netflix period drama. There's 7 episodes, written and directed by Scott Frank, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, about a young orphan girl named Beth who is a chess prodigy. She learns how to play chess. Actually, the custodian at the orphanage where she winds up after her mom dies teaches her how to play chess somewhat reluctantly, and then gets her involved in the world of competitive chess. And we could just trace the story. It's a coming of age story. It starts when she's like 9, and I think it ends when she's about 19. From the mid 50s to the late 60s is kind of the timeline. And like I said, it's really a coming of age story, but so much of the story is about her obsession with and amazing capacity for playing chess, that the story becomes about chess as well as about her. We had so much fun watching this. We ripped through all 7 episodes in 4 days. We probably would have watched it faster if the kids had their way, because they wanted to keep on watching episodes. But I was like, hey, you know what? Let's save those for tomorrow. Everything about this show is amazing. This is one of those 10 out of 10, 100% recommended for basically everyone shows. It's incredible writing, incredible acting. Use of music was really great in this show. The camera work is unbelievable. The sets, the costumes, they really nailed the period feel for the setting. There were only a couple of kind of glaring historical anachronisms that I caught, and usually anything that's a period drama will have a bunch of that stuff in it. So I feel like only 2 is not that bad, and I'm not even going to call them out in this review. I just loved this show. I actually watched it almost the whole way through twice. I started watching it running on the treadmill in the mornings, and I made it through about 5 episodes, and then I was like, okay, these kids need to watch this show. They're just going to love it, and it's going to inspire them to play chess more. And Mom's secret plan worked. They totally love the show, and they've totally been re-inspired about playing chess. Both Henry and James enjoy playing chess, but they put the board away a while ago for whatever reason, and this has completely inspired them to take it back out. And there's been multiple chess matches between basically every member of our household going on over the last week, which is awesome and really fun. And man, Henry's really good at chess, and he can beat me like 2 out of every 3 games, maybe even 3 out of 4. And I've learned not to play him after dinner because I'm too tired to keep up with him, because he's a good chess player. So apparently, according to Wikipedia, The Queen's Gambit was a massively successful Netflix show, the most watched show of the week that it came out, and super inspired other families to play chess as well. Apparently, sales of chess sets have just gone through the roof since the show came out. And the admins of chess.com have also reported a huge upsurge in the number of users that they have on their website and people who are interested in learning how to play chess. Again, I said it's recommended for everybody, but if you are into coming of age stories, if you're into chess, if you're into the late 50s to early 60s as a aesthetic experience, you're going to love this show. I definitely would recommend that you check it out. I'm just going to sit here babbling about it because it's just so good. I don't want to give away any plot details other than what I've said already. But I will say the other notable thing is there's a lot of time spent showing chess matches in the show because she goes to a lot of tournaments, and they keep it fresh. You know, for something that's a black and white board with 64 squares and, you know, a limited number of pieces and a limited number of camera angles, they really managed to never make it boring through the use of visual storytelling, having other ways of showing the chess match during the chess match. If that doesn't make sense while I'm kind of vaguely describing it, keep it in mind when you watch the show and notice how many different ways they show you that people are playing chess in the show. It's pretty interesting, and I think they do a great job of solving kind of a visual puzzle, of not letting it just kind of get boring with the same angles, the same shots of boards over and over again. They really mix it up and do a great job with well, with the whole thing, like I already said. And that brings us to the last movie we watched this week. We actually watched a documentary called Wrinkles the Clown from 2019, directed by Michael Beach Nichols. This is kind of a weird one about a clown for hire, a scary looking clown. He wears a rubber mask that has no eyes, so he's definitely a scary clown. Clown for hire down in Florida, who parents will call up and have him come to their house and basically scare their kids into behaving. So this guy is a clown that you can hire down in Florida, but then he also became like a viral sensation on the internet. And this documentary gets into how kind of like the myth, the story, the folklore of Wrinkles the Clown spread across the internet, and how calling up his number and listening to his voicemail message, or maybe even leaving him a message, or if you get really lucky, Wrinkles the Clown answering the phone, being this like rite of passage for kids, where there's all these kids, they're like ages like 8 to 13, populating this documentary, who are obsessed with Wrinkles the Clown or have followed his career. And they've all, like, either on YouTube or TikTok, they've uploaded videos of themselves or themselves with friends calling Wrinkles' number as this kind of like, it's they actually compare it to the Bloody Mary myth in the documentary. Wrinkles, calling up his voicemails, like calling up Bloody Mary or something. Anyhow, it's really interesting and really weird and really cool. And they touch on a lot of different aspects of what's going on in the documentary. You got, clown history experts, folklore experts, psychologist who's definitely not into the concept of scaring your kids with a clown. There's clowns, there's parents, there's kids, and Wrinkles the Clown is in the documentary also. So, if you're into documentaries about weird internet phenomena or scary clown stuff, or weird contemporary urban myths, and stuff like that, I think you will really enjoy the Wrinkles the Clown documentary. We had a ton of fun watching it. We didn't know what to expect going in, and there's some twists and turns. It definitely takes you for a ride. So Wrinkles the Clown, that's my other recommendation for this week. And that's it. That's what we watched this week. Like I said, we took 4 days watching The Queen's Gambit, so that one definitely sucked up a lot of our viewing time. So what have you guys been watching this week? I'm always curious to find out. Shout out to Nick Caesar, who always has a great watch list every week. And do you have anything to recommend for me? I, of course, always am looking for new recommendations for exciting things to watch, no matter what the genre or age of the film or anything. Except obviously I don't like CGI that gets in the way of my enjoyment of fantasy films. I'm going to leave it there, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope everyone is staying safe and taking care out there. I will be back in a few more days with another episode of my vlog. Until then, thanks for watching. See you later.